Morning.
Good morning.
Say good morning, nipples. Today is day 148, and that was an early shot of Katahdin. We got to watch the sunrise over it, and that's where we're heading today. We're gonna actually head to the base of Katahdin today. We're something like 13 miles out of Able Bridge, which is the entrance to Baxter State Park. It's the exit of the 100-mile wilderness, and we're very excited because that marks the beginning of the end for us. I got to stop here for water, and it's 6 a.m. This is pretty much the earliest we ever get on trail. Anyway, bye. So we got out of camp this morning right at 6, and that's kind of like the earliest we ever leave camp. It takes us about an hour to pack all of our stuff up, make a breakfast drink, and then jump out. Last night could have been our last bear hang as well. For those of you who haven't been watching or really don't know, bear hanging is when you hang your food bag in a tree. And you do it in a way that the bear can't just cut the line and drop the bag out of the tree, or just go break the branch that the bag is on. So anyway, it's always fun to do the bear hang. It's really when you're a beginning hiker or a backpacker, the bear hang can be a real nuisance. It's like a real difficult task, even though it's fairly a simple thing to do in theory. But after a while, you become like a master of it. Kind of walk into camp, and I'd shoot my bear line like I'm fishing. So I kind of like leave like my rock bag like 2 feet down below my hand, and kind of swing it up there like I'm throwing like an old school what do you call those things? It's like the old slingshot, like David and Goliath style. That's how I shoot my bear bag up into the tree, and it works real well. I'm pretty accurate. So yeah, today we're gonna hike 14 miles this morning. There's food and a resupply store at Able Bridge, and we're just going to get enough stuff for this evening and for tomorrow up to lunch, because by 3 o'clock tomorrow, I'm hoping with good weather and everything, we'll conclude our journey on the Appalachian Trail. It's just crazy. There's times when you're on this trail when you're like, wow, this thing is never ending. I mean, if you really want to watch every single video I made, like I said, they average only maybe 15 minutes a day worth of shooting. And we literally we hiked 12 hours. We hiked 11 hours yesterday. We didn't hike 12. We hiked 12 the day before. But that's pretty normal. Like if you're not hiking 10 to 12 hours a day out here, it's literally going to take you 6 months. And I think there's if you go 6 months on this trail, you will be bored to tears. I mean, there is a reason that we go and hike longer days. It's just to keep the trail interesting. It's to get to the next town. Maybe today I'll talk about, that's what I'll do. I'll talk about some of the best things on the trail. Not necessarily what the best of the best was. We can talk about that in the future, maybe on just a little trail wrap-up video. But I'll talk about some of the things that make the trail great. and some of the like maybe the difference between what or the difference of my expectation of what of what to expect when I got on trail, and then the reality. Maybe I'll do a quick talk on that. And for me, a quick talk takes 10 minutes. So buckle your seatbelts now. This is the second to last northbound peak, like mountain peak, before our final mountain where the terminus of the AT is. If you go back to the opening shot this morning, that was a shot of Katahdin. Katahdin in this last 50 miles of 100-mile wilderness is like in your face close. I mean, I know from the camera and from looking at your little phone, you don't really get the breadth, I guess that's the word, of the mountain, but it's a monster. It stands close to 6,000 feet, I think. I'll have to look at the thing. It could be close to 5, but still, that's several thousand feet higher than the average mountain in the state of Maine. Well, anyway, I was running across someone, and I don't like to bother them with my diatribes while I'm hiking, but just met a hiker who's southbounding to North Carolina right now. She said she came north from Connecticut, came up here, and then she's flipping back down to North Carolina, and she lives right on the Mountain to Seas Trail, and we do too. She's in the town of Clayton. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, her name's George. Shout out to George. It's always cool meeting hikers. It's funny because the 100-mile wilderness, there are very few hikers in here. There it is. Katahdin Baxter Peak. 21.2 miles. That's all we got left of this thing. We're not doing it today. We're going to get right to the base and have 5 miles to do tomorrow. And it's supposed to be a tough 5 miles. So, here's just a little look back at where we've been very recently. All over those mountains over there. Yeah, and this is an area that hasn't been picked clean yet. Oh, there goes my water bottle. I mean, there are just a lot of blueberries here. Yum.
Very bright. Look at the monster.
You're talking about the monster mountain in front of us? So yeah, this is the second. This might be the last peak. Well, we have one more peak up here. We have one more peak, and then we got to climb that monster tomorrow. We'll get a better shot of this thing later today. Blueberries. Man, Maine has a lot of blueberries. That's what I eat for breakfast when I can. You're gonna see me do this one more time. There he goes. Oh, here, let me do this in front of the Katahdin. So that's the Penobscot River. And I know where it flows out to. It flows all the way out to the ocean in Maine. we registered, and actually I'm walking along that river now. We registered for the Birches campground, and they only allow 12 through hikers to stay there. And if you thought there were going to be 12 or 100 through hikers making it up here today, right now there's only 6 of us. And I was the last person to register there so far. There could be another 1 or 2 behind us. But we got kind of like pushed out in front of all these other through hikers that all left, what's the name of that town? Monson. So we pushed out in front of a bunch of through hikers out of Monson, got out in front of them, crushed through the 100-mile wilderness pretty quick just to get here, and hopefully we'll have a little bit of a hole of hikers as we get to the top of Katahdin tomorrow. And we're going to get up really early tomorrow and leave it at that. It's supposed to take three hours to get to the top, and anytime someone says how long it takes to get somewhere, we always add an hour and a half. So it's going to hopefully just take us 4.5 hours to get up, and then the downward portion we are going to attempt. We're actually going to go another route down. So we're looking forward to that. Can't wait to be done. I can't wait to be done because I'm loving this trail. But on the other end, I've got things I want to do with my time. And I'm glad that we got done in 5 months versus 6. We did give ourselves 6 months to finish. So we're kind of getting the month back of our lives that we had originally budgeted for the trail. Well, I know I said I'd talk about expectations and what I expected out of the trail. I think I should really talk about what I didn't expect. First and foremost, I didn't expect the trail to be this hard. I know there's a lot of you out there who's like, oh, the trail's easy. Well, not to me it wasn't. It was certainly difficult between the distance, the time, and the physical demand, financial demand as well. It was really like a high degree of difficulty. I don't know. I don't really know what to say about that. I can talk about all those different subjects at length, probably. I think for me, of all those, the toughest thing was the physical demand, and I'm a pretty physically fit and active person. I know there's a lot of people out there who say, "Oh, I'm too old to do the trail," but I don't know. There's a lot of retired folks out here who are doing really, really well on the trail. So there are people out here who've done the trail multiple times. I think if you had done it before and you come out and do it again, at least you have all the expectations laid out, and you can have a couple strategies for stopping places to kind of temper some of the difficulty. I didn't expect for the trail to be as nice as it is, and as scenic. And it's called a scenic trail, but all the spots on the AT that I had ever seen before were always in dicey areas, like crossing Interstate 70. So, you cross the trail at Interstate 70, or I would cross it, somewhere on the Parkway or in Virginia. You cross it a lot at interstates. You think to yourself, how nice can this be? It just goes right along interstates. It was nice, and it definitely it was so good. The trail was so good to all the scenery and the unfolding of the trail. I really loved the way the trail unfolded from the south to the north, and how it showed you, it hinted at some of its terrain far in the north, way down in the south. For example, in Virginia, you go over like the Knife's Edge. I think I was in Virginia. There's something like the Knife's Edge. It was like a rocky ridge. Lo and behold, the whole state of New York, not the whole state of New York, a good portion of New York was like that. And then Maine, a lot of New Hampshire. It ended up becoming a very normal part of the trail. I didn't expect the Green Tunnel to be so inviting. I know I love the deciduous hardwood forests, which this isn't one of them, but it's still green up here. But yeah, after spending all that time up on top of the Whites, going through New Hampshire, which was breathtaking in so many different ways, all we really wanted to do is get back in the forest. You just feel like, I don't know, it's, even though it was nice and cool up there, you're less exposed, and the trail was actually, in a lot of ways, easy through a lot of the forest, easy to deal with. Like, this is easy trail right here. I expected there to be more people on trail. And I know we got out a little bit early. We got out March, 21st is when we started, and we got through Harper's Ferry on May 29th. But honestly, there just weren't that many people on trail. There were a lot of people and I say a lot, compared to the rest of the trail, there were a lot of people in Georgia. The most people we saw were in the Whites, but the Whites can be kind of considered like a park. It's almost like a national park. So there are a lot of people there. But as far as thru hikers goes, there was literally 1 or 2 weeks where this group of thru hikers that I'm traveling with, we never encountered another northbounder. And then the southbounders, I was expecting a real bubble, because everyone talks about these bubbles. And the most we did stay with a bunch of southbounders one night, and there were 16 tents, and that was in Andover at the Red Hen. And outside of that, everywhere else we stayed with southbounders, there were only 1 or 2 or 3. And that was something I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting the volume to be so low. So, they say, a couple 100,000 people use the trail every year. Yeah, but they use it. They might use it in the popular areas. They're not really backpacking it. There are a lot of section hikers, I guess. But even so, you really don't pass that many people. Yesterday, we hiked with 3 section hikers. I'm talking about my group. We hiked alongside 3 section hikers for about 4 miles. And then we passed 2 southbounders, and that was it the whole day in the 100-mile wilderness. And then finally today, we got to a place where we started running into day hikers. So we're on our ascent up to Katahdin Stream Campground, and we just had a campground host person pass us, and they put us in a lean-to, which is a shelter, versus having to stay at the thru hiker shelter, which is called the Birches. So the last thing that I'd like to just quickly talk about is doing the trail with your wife or your spouse, whether it's a husband or a wife. And everyone would say that's really going to test your marriage. I mean, that's the number one assumption that even I would jump to. Just doing the trail for this long, and people all go at their own paces and all that's good stuff, but really we were surprised at how much easier the trail is as a married couple. It's easier than real life. It's easier than the grind of going to work every day and supporting each other through that. Perhaps having kids. Certainly it's easier than going through pain and suffering that can happen in times of hardship. And we just broke it down to two really easy things. Number one, we set just a realistic goal that was simple for us. At first it was hard, but it became really easy, and that was conquering 100 miles a week. And then I don't know what the second one was. But that was it. I mean, we'd conquer 100 miles every week, and that was something that was doable for the both of us, and it kept us focused and made us enjoy the trail. Oh, and the second thing is that we just worked as a team. We call it a team effort in so many ways rather than a individual effort. We didn't conquer the trail. Conquer it, I wouldn't call it that. We didn't hike the trail, I guess. Individually, we hiked it together.